Hear this. A child will be born amongst the 12 tribes, and they shall be called a friend of the martyr, emancipator, the leader of the fallen brought back to the light. God made man to deliberate his people. Chapter 2, verse 7 of the Dalle-2. Leucelia, a land of untamed beauty. Sprawling mountains, deep, luscious valleys, and green crescent hills. A garden of green, lustrous beauty. A land of wilderness, untamed yet bountiful. Touched by the art, provide for all mankind. But all things beautiful in the world can have a dark, tumultuous past of horror and tragedy. Every imperial citizen to this day can trace their descendants to the 12 tribes of time immemorial. Though evil in number, the people of Leucelia had little of peace. All of the tribes warred with each other over who was to provide the chosen of prophecy, a hero promised to be God in flesh, to unite the tribes and bring Leucealia's kingdom to Leucelia. The mightiest among the tribes, the Homebrew, once brought forth a mighty hero named Homebrew, accompanied by his faithful companion and cousin, the Teller. The two young boys fought many battles, overcoming their foes with superior might and tactics. After an incident where the two bore witness to the violence of innocents, they changed their heart and sought on a quest to unite the 12 tribes peacefully, eventually making friends with the heirs to each tribe. Ulrich Golarian used his trust as currency to barter a peace accord. On the night of the Council of Tribes, unbeknownst to the Teller, Ulrich and the Bulgarians strained a trap, murdering their friends in cold blood in an attempt to forcefully seize control of the tribes. The Teller was horrified at witnessing his friends fall to the men he had followed since birth. Exiled, he traveled to Cartesia, a land of the learned and wise. Gaining guidance and support from the Cartesian nobility, the Teller returned to Leucelia and slayed Ulrich and the Bulgarians who followed him, thereby uniting all people under his banner. Thus, the empire of mankind was formed. In the year 100, the second heir, Emperor Norkarat I, created the imperial church through imperial decree and unanimous support of the Senate. The commensurate teachings of the church proclaim the holy book, the Dalle-2, as the official sacred text, and that the Teller was the chosen of prophecy, as had been foretold. The head of the church was then determined to be the chief advisor of Lord Earl I, Ulrich Cinderhold, who took on the name Prime Cardinal Siluan I, meaning Truth of God. The church was composed of 12 cardinals, representing the 12 original tribes of mankind, each given a regent person over, and a single prime cardinal to oversee the church as a whole. To the east lies the peoples and land of Cartesia, comprised mostly of learned men and women who have explored the very nature of being as much as nature itself. They are knowledgeable and inquisitive people who have assuaged from war for millennia. When the opportunity presented itself, they assisted Vitar in unifying the tribes of mankind and were offered to become a member state of the Empire in return. In the present day, many of the intellectual institutions and guilds are headquartered in Cartesia. In addition, the most prestigious seminary of the Imperial Church is located here. The Seminary of the First Illuminarch. Leucelia is a land of peace and prosperity. To the west of the Empire lies the land and peoples of Mermadia, an isolated, semi-nomadic people. The Mermadians were separated from the tribes of mankind by the natural border wall of Alluvium. As a result, their people were left free to reap the bountiful resources of the Carpathian archipelagos unabated. If it was not for the incessant storms coming from the western oceans called squalls, the Mermadians would have been able to permanently settle their island homes. Instead, for a majority of their history, the Mermadians set about a nomadic lifestyle, moving from island to island in retreat from the storms. It wasn't until the Mermadian conflict that the Empire was finally able to bring the Mermadians into the fold. After many deaths and many battles, seeing no definitive victor, a peace accord was made between the Empire and Mermadia. In exchange for their precious resources, the Mermadians were given technology from the Empire to help them settle their islands. In the arid and barren south, a growing group of exiles from the tribes of mankind inhabit the Sutherland wastes. Not much is known about their civilization, other than they raid imperial trade lanes of the Crescent Strait and typically leave no survivors. As attacks grow on the southern border of the Empire, the Emperor Lunor V ramps up the Imperial Navy in a preparation to assault the Sutherlanders. And lastly, to the northern reaches of the Empire, the mostly barren and uninhabited mountainous region of Leucelia. Very little has been explored of these mountainous ranges. However, recently, many intrepid explorers have pursued adventures up in the northern mountains. One particular explorer discovered a new mineral only found in the Gomera range. But when exposed to heat or fire, the mineral will explode in a pillar of smoke. Or at least, that was what was explained by the recently one-handed explorer when they returned in a report to the Empire. In recent days, the northernmost port city of Clone-Ballet has experienced a boom of pioneers looking to stake claim to this precious black substance. The vestigiate, the chamber of the Imperial Church, has taken particular interest in the region. It has been seen to be moving many men and horses to the region in an attempt to establish an outpost near the mines to secure a potentially new strategic resource. These are the stories and chronicles of the people of Leucelia.